It's more than just coincidence. You look around and see the earth, the moon, the sun and the sky, a beautiful creation of Allah. So how could you deny?
How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar. How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our show, The Philosophy of the Islamic Law. And we are glad to welcome with us Professor Muhammad Saie, the Professor of the Islamic Law in America in several universities. Thank you for being with us. Professor Muhammad, in the last episode, at the end you were giving us an example how the scholars, they would take something that happened in the days of the Prophet ﷺ, and based on this rule, they can come up with a conclusion or come up with a result or a hukm, rule that will fit our nowadays, that our modern days. Would you please give us or remind the viewers about this part?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina rasulullah wa alihi wa sahbihi wa wala. علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا ما علمتنا وزدنا من لدنك علما برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اجعل كلامنا كله خالصا لوجهك الكريم. آمين. Just to remind ourselves and the viewers that one of the beautiful things in this Islamic law, that this Islamic law is able to carry on all needs and the old new cases and event or incidents through the stage of history from the day that Sharia was finalized by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, delivered by His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, through the day of judgment. So the flexibility of Islamic law and one of its remarkable way is to see this point, that the second section of Islamic law regarding ruling your right and others' right based on reasoning. And as we said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in many verses some of these reasons why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded you to do such a things, or why it's prohibited to commit such a thing like drinking alcoholic drinks, or committing adultery, or killing someone. So it is meant to be one of its wisdoms, one of its goals and aims, to serve the need of the people. If this section was not based on what we have said, that will make the Islamic law handicapped, will be having a shortage of fulfilling the needs of the people. And that by itself will make the operation of worshipping the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala to stop at one station. Because if you said that I cannot apply some of the reasons behind some Islamic original issues in our modern time, that means people will be in a chaos, will be uncontrolled and supervised by the Islamic law. That means we are going to apply our own judgment without referring anything of this, maybe judgment, to his book, to his Islamic law. So we'll be free of worshipping our own desires, our own thought, our own ideas. But the whole issue, as we said before, in both section of act of worshipping, second section is to make you able to fulfill your claim as a worshipper of God subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is your mission. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. So you are worshipping Him through both sections. So by this meaning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the second section full of reasons. So the wine was prohibited on his time, and his time used to be made from certain kind of fruit. But after his time, they were able to make alcohol drinks from different kind of fruit, different kind of materials. So if we say there's no reason behind prohibiting alcoholic drinks will say that it's only prohibited to drink that kind of wine made by that kind of fruit. That means other fruit to make alcoholic drinks would be lawful. And if we say that, that means we are bringing the harmful things to the Muslim's life. We are making some contradiction between the original Islamic issue and the new incident, the new event, the new cases. That means Muslim by himself will be a contradictive subject in his life. He will be someone calling for healthy life, and the other side of his life is calling for a very unhealthy life. And at the same time, we are not able to approach others by saying that we are, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, able to manage our new life with its new cases and event by our Islamic law, because our Islamic law is full with reasons. We're able to bring the old reason and apply it to the new incident and case and find out that they have the same Islamic status. So if the wine being prohibited long time ago, on his time, alayhi salam, because it was the kind of material to make damage to your mind, your brain, make someone drunk, and when someone is drunk, he's losing his control on his mind, on his behavior, on his action in his life, that might make damage to his health, to his family, to the whole society. The same reason you could find the result of these alcoholic drinks and the same kind of wine being made by maybe date or grape, or made by something else. The same result, the same reason. So it is very logic. It is once again to show how this Islam was based in logic. Because our Islam has come to fit and suit two things mainly. You, as a human being, your nature as a human being, and your brain, your logic as a human being. I call it the human nature and human logic. I challenge anyone on this earth to bring one Islamic issue that does not fit and suit your human nature and human logic. It has to be this way. So this is one of the issue that support our claim, that if Islam said it is prohibited for Muslim to drink wine made by date only or by grape only, but it is okay for him to drink alcoholic drinks made by like peach or by maybe apple. It is contradictive issue, right?
Yes.
Does not fit in your human logic. Does not fit in your human nature as someone always want to be safe or seek safety for himself and for others. So it is logical, it is human nature to have this kind of attribute in the second section of the Islamic law, are able to find the reason behind the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and apply it again and again and again and again, wherever you have new cases or new incidents.
I think there is an example about being drunk, that Allah prohibited being drunk in the old days, and now we have drugs. And it is the same thing that the scholars say prohibited drugs because it causes the same results as alcohol. And I think this will be the good example for qiyas in this case.
It is unlimited. The more you dig in the Islamic law in its second section, the more you find reasons behind rules of God regarding your right and others' right. Now, we could find in different cases why Islam said that marriage has to be between these two couples, man and woman, based on 1 to 3 conditions, and anything came out of this marriage to be considered as the result and the fruit of this considerable marriage. Now, in our modern days, they are looking for some kind of producing babies out of the womb of the mother, right?
Yes.
At least you have in the second section of the Islamic law that attribute that it's based on reasoning. You're not able to give an answer to the new maybe method or means to produce maybe new babies. If you don't have that attribute, you'll say that any kind of new technology to be able to produce a new baby, a new child for anyone should be lawful. But he said, no, you have some conditions here. Based on our research we have made and found out what is the reason behind making that marriage a considerable one and other one is a considerable one, or make that relationship to be like in a considerable relationship in Islam and that relationship is a considerable one, to make that relationship a valid one and everything relate to it, everything has come as a result of it to be considerable in Islam, or otherwise will not be considerable. In that case, we are able now to say that method, it is acceptable in Islam, other one is not acceptable. Suppose they brought the sperm from a man, he's not belong to that lady, he's not a husband for that lady, because her husband does not have a good sperm, right? And they were able in laboratory to make that operation, to make that maybe medical, what they call it?
Technicality. They used some kind of technology to
so we're able to bring that baby out of this operation, a new one. They put the egg of that lady, the sperm of that man was not belong to that lady, and they made that a new baby by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We said this is not unacceptable. It is rejectable in Islam.
It's like zina, exactly.
Because this is the same reason why Islam said a relationship between man and woman without having the marriage, Islamic marriage, is invalid one. And any result of it will be to be unconsiderable. So we said this is unacceptable. But if they brought the sperm of that husband and the egg of this wife, his wife, and make it in the lab, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had a mercy on this experiment, and they came up with a new baby, said this is an acceptable thing in Islam. And all that because we have this reasoning in the second section of the Islamic law. Other thing I have to say here, why the second section is full with reasons. Because as I said, this is regarding you, your need, your interest. It is very logical, it's very obvious to ask, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked me to do something for me without informing me why He is doing that, subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's your nature from inside. If your father instructed you to do something for him, my son, you do this one or that two for me, and you do 1, 2, 3, 4 for yourself. He said, I don't care if my dad did something for himself to be good or not, but I'm going to ask about myself. Why command me to go to that school? Right? Your father said, my instruction to you, that you put that socks in that drawer. This is belong to him, to your father, right?
Yes.
And you accept that without asking. When he said, go to that school, not the other one, you'll ask, why that? I want to go to the other one, because this is your interest.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct. We have to go for a quick break and we'll come back soon.
How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar.
The words of Allah, the Quran, sent to us by the Almighty, so we can hear and obey.
We cannot live our life without the Holy Quran. You must listen carefully to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because your safety and my safety will be with this great verses of the Holy Quran. We are here in this world for a test, and this test, and you will have questions in the day of judgment.
Hear and obey with Sheikh Rifat Muhammad.
How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar.
Welcome back. Professor Muhammad, before we went to the break, you were talking about that people will listen to and obey if there's something that, for example, a father give an order for his son for something that regarding to the father himself, he will do it. But when it comes to himself, he will ask why. And he will need reasons. And this is, subhanAllah, this is really meet the people's needs to know why when it comes to their interests.
Yes.
And you were saying something about this, but unfortunately we had to interrupt for the quick break.
You are on the table of like a dinner table, and the food has come, and your mom said to you, please give me that piece of chicken. You will give it to her, right?
Yes.
Now, if she said, well, my son, I would like you to try this with that one, this chicken with that maybe potato together, and put something on them like some kind of spicy. Like you said, why is it good? It's naturally, right? When she asks you for herself, you do it out of obedience,
Yes.
out of love, right? Because
Yes.
you like just to translate your love and your obedience to your mother by just saying, yes, Mom, I heard you. This is what you need. This is what you asked me for. When she asks you something regarding you, initially you said, Mom, is it, you think it's better to be together or not? She said, yes, because this is what will do such like a spicy maybe taste. She will explain to you. So it's like naturally in yourself to ask about something you commanded to do for your own interest. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants this Islamic law to be appeared and to be felt as if that what you wish, what you dream, wallahi, to find your life as matching your need, your instinct, is the same way Allah has made it subhanahu wa ta'ala.
SubhanAllah. SubhanAllah. Now, when we talk about the act of worshipping, we will see that basically Islam is based on 5 pillars. And we find that these 5 pillars, if we can categorize them, like 2 of them are regarding, you do it through your body, like prayers and fasting. And another one, we do it through your body too, like pilgrimage, and at the same time you pay money for it. And the zakah, the almsgiving or charity, you do it through money. So is there another type of act of worshipping, or this is the body and through money?
Just imagine that if Allah commands you to do something to translate or to express your love toward Him, and Allah commanded you to pay some money. My servant, go and pay charity for needy people. And this is the whole Islam. Just imagine this.
That would be the only thing.
The whole Islamic issues regarding His rights. And Allah wants subhanahu wa ta'ala to show that you are in a full love with Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah commanded you to just pay charity. What is going to happen to you as a flesh and bones and blood? What's going to happen to you as a soul and spirit and heart? You know what's going to happen?
What?
It is like when you walk on the street, or maybe have some maybe jogging in the jungle or maybe in the forest, and you feel that everything around you is talking to you and telling you, hey, you are not alone. We are with you. We are doing the same thing you are doing in your life. We are the worshippers of God subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't you feel it? Don't you hear it? The leaves of the trees, the sound of the rivers, the songs coming from these beautiful birds. Everyone is talking to you. We are in the same mood. We are singing the same symphony. We are the creation of God subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if Allah commanded you only to pay charity, make maybe your hand, take some money out of your pocket and making something financially, and prevented your body, your soul, your spirit, in sharing, participating in this great and noble mission of worshiping Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, will be like some kind of like a big conflict and fight inside you. As if they are asking you, no, we cannot just wait and stand watching you without activating us, showing that we are really in the full obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So all this participation or sharing between every part of you, you are sharing your body, you are bringing your physical effort, your financial effort, your spiritual effort, your soul effort to participate in that very holy mission. To say I am the worshipper of God subhanahu wa ta'ala is meant to be this way, to activate every part of you as a human being, because you will not be complete human being unless you are activating everything inside you, sharing in this beautiful and holy, maybe a noble mission of saying I am the worshipper of God subhanahu wa ta'ala. So some act of worshipping is financial, charity. Some of it like physical, you will pray, you don't spend money, right? Some of it like soul, you are stop eating and drinking. Some of it is like both physical and financial and spiritual and maybe emotional. Go to Hajj, right?
Yes.
Because Hajj does have all this. You are emotionally making Hajj, you are spiritually making Hajj, you are financially making Hajj, you are physically making Hajj, right?
Yes.
So you feel that everything inside you is sharing you in this mission. When you are activating everything inside you in that direction, that will make you the real worshipper of God subhanahu wa ta'ala. That will remind you that you are not alone doing this. But even that animal looks to be like animal, looks to be like dog or cat or maybe bird. They are just singing. They are maybe just making some kind of maybe noisy voice sometimes. Know that they are doing something else. That's why some hadith came to remind you, you are not alone. You are one of the creation of God subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah mentions Sayyidina Dawood, Ya jibalu awi ma'hu at-tayr, right? The mountains, the birds are sharing him with his tasbih. Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. And as I told you, one time we were in a very beautiful area in Mexico. It's a very high mountain. Did you see the clouds passing? We start to make that tasbih. Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. Together. Wallahi, la ilaha illallah. I felt as if that everything around you is sharing in that tasbih.
SubhanAllah.
The mountain, the water, the clouds. Till one time we found a big cloud has coming down and stopped. I said, it might be angels. It did happen at the time of the Sahaba, that they found that kind of sakina, the peace.
Yes.
So we are not alone. So why would like just to prevent your body, your money, your spirit from being a happy part of you when sharing in that noble mission?
Yes, when I look at it deeply, I see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when Islam is based on these 5 pillars, I see that in each one of it, Allah is asking us to give away one of the dearest things that we have. Like when we pray, we give away the time that we can spend doing something that we might like. And when we fast, we give away the food, because we like food, we like to eat or drink. And so we have to give away, sacrifice something. And charity, we give away money. Pilgrimage, we give away our comfortable life, and we go make all these efforts and pay money. And so I see that when you look at it in the 5 pillars, in each one of it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking away and wants to see that you are giving away one of your dearest thing that you like. So it's all about sacrifice and show total obedience to it.
But we have to say that this is only for the beginners.
Yes, of course.
Right?
Yes.
Because when sometimes we try to approach someone and convince him and maybe encourage him to pray, he said, well, you should sacrifice some of your time to pray 5 times a day. You should go to the masjid sometimes. You should sacrifice, as you said, some of your money. This is for beginners. But stage after stage and level after level, he has to tell us, why didn't you tell me that before?
It will be
You are inviting me. You're inviting me to go for a very special dinner, very special visit to a beautiful garden of the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that will be later on. that ibadat will be turned, instead of being sacrificing, struggling, to be a beautiful invitation from the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as I said before, like a some kind of small and a beautiful brochure for Al-Jannah. When you pray or fast or recite Al-Quran Al-Kareem, you are getting the sense of what Al-Jannah could be look like in the future. But this is later on.
Inshallah. I see again in the 5 pillars that all of them are public, like people can see them except one. That fasting, I believe, nobody can know it except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I see that everybody has the access to see how you worship Allah, if you worship Allah or not.
Yes.
Is that meant to be like this way, or what is the reason behind it?
In our very humble, believe it meant to be this way. Why?
Why?
Because when you are thinking about this nature of the act of worshipping, that public does have an access to it, to know that you are in that act of worshipping. Like prayers, you are in the mosque.
They can see
you are praying with congregation, so they are aware that you are praying.
Yes.
This prayer. When you are making the Hajj, you are making the Hajj not alone. You cannot make a Hajj alone.
Yes.
It's with the people,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So they are aware of what we are doing. And even in Ramadan, even if you said that nobody knows if I am fasting or not, but everyone is aware that this is the month of Ramadan. The whole nation, the whole people are in a shape of fasting today. So they know that Ramadan has started this day and is going to end the other day after maybe they see they say the moon. So even Ramadan does have an access to the public into it. And the reason behind all of this is a lot of reasons, a lot of wisdoms. Do you have time to talk about this or not?
Unfortunately, no.
Here we go.
Okay, unfortunately that's all the time that we have for today. We would like to thank Professor Muhammad Naim Saie for being with us today, and inshallah we will meet again, so please visit us next time. We have more to say. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It's more than just coincidence. You look around and see the earth, the moon, the sun and the sky, a beautiful creation of Allah. So how could you deny?
How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar. How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar.